Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of O2 Reviews on the 02 podcast. I'm LT, and today we review Tombstone. So, Tombstone is a 1993 Western romance film starring multiple big name actors based on Wyatt Earp and his brothers, Morgan and Virgil, having left their gunslinger ways behind to settle down and start a business in the town of Tombstone, Arizona. Now, while they aren't looking to find trouble, trouble soon finds them. Now, they become the targets of a ruthless cowboy gang. Now, together with Wyatt's best friend, Doc Holliday, who is an absolute standout performance in this film, the brothers pick up their guns once more to restore law and order to a lawless town. Now, guys, if you haven't seen Tombstone before and you're at all a fan of anything Western, anything cowboy, go out and see this film, okay? Just listen to the cast: Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Powers Booth, Michael Biehn, Charlton Heston, Stephen Lang, Thomas Hayden Church, Dana Delaney, Michael Rooker, Billy Bob Thornton, and many, many more. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the opening of this review, the standout performance for myself watching this was Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday. Val Kilmer had some very good roles over the years, but this is no doubt his standout performance. If you look at films like Heat, you can say, yeah, no, he was great in that as well, but nobody can touch Val Kilmer in this particular role. This is very much reminiscent of Heath Ledger and the Joker. Now, that's not to say anyone else in this film is any worse, because as I said, the cast in this film is fantastic. The acting is fantastic. Everyone portrays their characters believably. The dialogue is written superbly, and the story is simplistic enough, dealing with themes of revenge. Now you have Kurt Russell starring as Wyatt Earp, and you have Sam Elliott and Bill Paxton portraying his brothers Virgil and Morgan. Shortly after arriving at Tombstone, having given up careers as lawmen, looking to start a new life, they quickly become embroiled in this back and forth altercation with a group called the Cowboys, led by Powers Booth and Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn is another standout in this particular film. He plays a cowboy by the name of Johnny Ringo. Also, Powers Booth just brings a very sinister and menacing leader of the Cowboys, Curly Bill Brocious. So Wyatt Earp is adamant he doesn't want to get involved in becoming a lawman again. He doesn't want to go head to head with the Cowboys. But it's actually his brother Virgil who, day after day, living in Tombstone and seeing the people under the Cowboys' heel, can't take it anymore. He can't take the lawlessness. He can't take this helplessness. And he's able to do something. He's able to do something to help these people. And that's what he's going to do. And his brother Morgan also takes up the challenge and puts on a badge. Guys, as soon as this happened, this is where we get the classic scene of the gunfight at the OK Corral, which is very, very cool. Now, another one of the characters in this film on the Cowboys side is Ike Clanton, played by Stephen Lang. And this is a character you love to hate. He's the cowardly, backstabbing, conniving rat of a character that never really gets his comeuppance. He does eventually get it in the end, of course. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it. That's one of the only problems I have with this film. I would have loved to have seen Ike got exactly what he deserved. But that is a single problem in a film that is absolutely fantastic. Another aspect of this film is the soundtrack. The soundtrack to this film, it's unmistakable. If you've ever heard it before, it could be on the radio. You know exactly what the music is when it hits. As mentioned earlier, if you're at all into westerns, old style westerns, John Wayne movies, Clint Eastwood movies, I guarantee you're going to find something in this film to really enjoy. Now, this film was released in 1993, so not that long ago. So, as modern cowboy movies go, it's really up there. It's definitely in the top echelon of cowboy movies, in my opinion. Now, the film has a runtime of around 2 hours. I think it's around two and a half, something like that. It's a long movie, but it's fantastic. You never feel bogged down. It never feels slow. Any of the scenes that lack action always have some really great dialogue and some great character interactions. Now, there's some really great one liners that come from this film, especially from the character of Doc Holliday. This entire film runs really well. It has fantastic pacing, great music, fantastic cast. One of the most all star casts I think I've ever seen in any movie ever. The film is also narrated by Robert Mitchum. And if you're a fan of old style cowboy movies, you'll know exactly who that is. So, guys, that's a quick wrap up of the film Tombstone. I highly recommend it. I think anyone that enjoyed the Western genre, you're going to enjoy this film. As I said, released in the 90s, so it's not an old film. You don't have to go back to the black and white or early color days to enjoy a genuinely incredible cowboy film. And given the cast, given the music, given the dialogue, everything is just wrapped up really well in this film. You get a satisfactory opening, middle, ending. This film is worth watching purely for Val Kilmer perform as Doc Holliday. So, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of O2 Reviews on the 02 podcast. I'm LT, and stay tuned for the next episode coming soon.